Yo, what is up guys, Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So according to a social media post by Michael Benson, Manny Pacquiao has announced his retirement from the sport of boxing at the age of 42 years old following his defeat to Yordenis Ugas. Apparently Manny Pacquiao did an interview with somebody called Tony Gonlini, and in that interview basically he confirmed his retirement and obviously that he's running for presidency in the Philippines in 2022. So yeah, what do we make of this news? Now me personally, when it comes to these sort of things, I'm not really one of those nostalgic types or sentimental types, to be honest with you. Obviously there's fighters I really like. I feel there's certain fighters who have really gone above and beyond for the sport of boxing and really delivered for us fans. And Manny Pacquiao is one of those guys, but at the same time, I don't really look at any of these fighters and say to myself, I want to be like him, or this guy's got me through a rough period. You know how some people kind of attach themselves to a fighter and really get emotionally invested. It doesn't go that far, but there are certain fighters I really respect and appreciate what they've done for the sport, and ultimately what they've done for me as a consumer at the end of the day. And Manny Pacquiao, for me, has been one of those guys who has consistently delivered great fights. Fights I care about, fights I've been interested in. Win, lose or draw, Manny Pacquiao conducted himself like a real fighter, like a real boxer, and like a warrior. And ultimately, no matter the level of a fighter, as long as they take challenges, put on a show, leave it all on the line, I will respect you. And on top of that, of course, Manny Pacquiao is just one of the greatest fighters of all time. So many accolades in his career, so many world titles, an 8-division world champion. He's been a world champion in 4 different decades, the oldest welterweight champion of all time. This guy won his first world title back in 1998 against Sasakul at flyweight. And ever since then, win, lose or draw, the guy's been involved in wars against Hall of Fame level fighters. Win, lose or draw, the guy always laid it all on the line. And ultimately, as the years go by, as we've gone into the new millennium, and as we've gone into the social media era, it feels like most fighters now, particularly the younger generation, especially fighters from the West, UK and USA, it feels like most of these guys are trying to tweet their way to the top, rather than actually fighting their way to the top, rather than taking out their rivals and forging a legacy for themselves. I mean, look at lightweight, for example, the ridiculousness of lightweight. We've got 4 young guys there, Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez. The media have had the audacity to call these guys the 4 Kings in the last 12-18 months. The 4 Kings all fought each other across numerous weight classes, sometimes multiple times. But fast forward a few generations and look at the current quote-unquote 4 Kings. Just look at how they're conducting themselves in comparison to the original 4 Kings. It's night and day. It's all about posturing now. It's all about talking about certain fights. It's all about A-side, B-side. It's all about social media following, marketability. What about the actual fights? What about actually fighting your rivals, building a legacy, creating great nights, great moments in history? That's what really builds your profile. That's what builds your social media presence, your notoriety, your marketability, is being involved in these barn burner fights. That's what cultivates a fan base. But here we are in 2021, I see guys on Twitter, guys on YouTube, every single stream I go into, people seem to be talking about numbers and why this guy's the king of boxing or that guy's the king of boxing. I've seen guys on social media, so-called boxing fans on YouTube, basically celebrate fighters getting endorsement deals. I think it might have been Ryan Garcia who got a deal with Gatorade, and I saw people online, so-called boxing fans, celebrating this like it's a good thing. This is Ryan Garcia, who hasn't fought since January. He's still not fought a world champion. He's still not fought an elite level fighter. He's pulled out of a fight with Javier Fortuna quite recently. he wouldn't fight for the WBC title against Devin Haney, yet you've got idiots out here celebrating his Gatorade deal. We complain about promoters, we complain about networks, etc., drug testing, sanctioning bodies, you name it. But the reality is, a lot of fight fans are the problem as well. You know, you should be flaming someone like Ryan Garcia up for not fighting, not challenging himself, not fucking celebrating him getting a Gatorade deal. You know, it's embarrassing. It really is, man. And the reason I bring that up is because it's such a contrast from Manny Pacquiao and how Manny Pacquiao has handled his career. All the way since back in 1998, when he fought for his first world title, Manny Pacquiao has been in there with killers, Hall of Famers, top 10 contenders, pound for pound level fighters. The guy's resume is stacked. Barrera, Morales, Marquez, Cotto, Mayweather, Bradley, Sasakul, Keith Thurman, Ledwaba. I could go on. His resume is stacked. He's always sought out the toughest level of competition. He's always wanted challenges. And, you know, when you have that mindset as a fighter, what that then gives us as boxing fans is great content and great fights, which ultimately is what we all should really want. That's the only thing we should want. Yeah, we're going to have our favourites, but the main thing is us getting the biggest fights. Whether your guy wins or loses is irrelevant. It's all about getting the big fights. But the problem is, not too many fighters have a mindset of someone like Manny Pacquiao. There are some exceptions today who are doing it proper, but for the most part, most guys are fucking up. And the sad fact is, most fans are allowing it and even championing it, and accepting it, and celebrating it. But at the same time, these same guys, they'll denigrate someone like Manny Pacquiao. You know, they'll denigrate Manny Pacquiao, but celebrate Ryan Garcia's Gatorade contract. They'll celebrate promotional divides and, you know, excusing fighters for A-siding the shit out of opponents to the point where a lot of these fights don't even happen. But, you know, they'll denigrate Manny Pacquiao. It's absolutely insane. Manny Pacquiao, we're never going to see another Manny Pacquiao again. I can't see it in my lifetime. I'd be shocked if we see someone like Pacquiao again in this sport in our lifetime. I would be absolutely shocked. And ultimately, if just half of the fighters in boxing had Manny Pacquiao's mindset, his willingness to seek out tough challenges, boxing would be in such a great place. It really would. If just half of the fighters currently involved would have Manny Pacquiao's mindset, boxing would be so much better. But, you know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. You know, Manny Pacquiao looks like he's retiring from the sport of boxing. Obviously, in 2022, he needs to concentrate on his run for presidency in the Philippines. But even if he doesn't succeed in that, I hope this decision is actually final. Manny Pacquiao's delivered all he needs to and then some. He doesn't owe boxing anything at this stage. He's given us great fights, great trilogies, you know, moments to remember, historical moments. Manny Pacquiao's done his thing. He's got the accolades. He's broken records, a multi-division champion, numerous world titles. At the end of the day, he's proven all he needs to. And the reality is, I've not got a time machine, by the way, but I can guarantee you, in 50, 60, 70, 80 years' time, people will still be talking about Manny Pacquiao. His place in history, in boxing history, has been secured, cemented, and it will be there forever. So yeah, that's what I have to say on Manny Pacquiao retiring. Thoroughly enjoyed his career, one of the greatest to ever do it as far as I'm concerned, and I hope it's final, and all I can really say is happy retirement, and also good luck in his race for the presidency in the Philippines. Anyway, share your thoughts below. Beanie Guy Delboy, peace.